dear students, this is Karam. Welcome to my class. In the last class, we have completed the first part of the story, and today we are going to discuss the second part of the lesson Lost Spring. Okay, in this part, the author describes the miserable condition of the poor bangle makers who live in Firozabad. Okay, Firozabad, that place is known as City of Bangles. The people living in Firozabad, all of them, they work in bangle factories. Except making bangles, they know nothing. They know only the art of making bangles. Okay, and these people are so poor, they are poverty stricken. Okay, these people are poverty stricken. And these people believe that they believed that they are destined to work in a bangle factory. They believe in destiny, they believe in fate. Okay, most of the people living in Firozabad, they work in bangle factory, they are engaged in making bangles, and the children, most of the children, they have to lose their eyesight before becoming adults. As they work in dingy cells, as they work in dark rooms. Okay, that's why they have lost their eyesight before they become adults, before they become 18. Okay, so this is their condition. Their lives are full of miseries. Here the author is talking about a boy named Mukesh who works in a bangle factory. Okay, he also works in that factory of Firozabad. But that boy is different from the other people of that place. How? Because he has a dream. He wants to drive a car. He wants to be a motor mechanic. But seeing the family background of Mukesh, the author feels like he will not be able to fulfill his dream. These poor bangle makers have been exploited by the rich people of the society. There was no leader among them to guide them, to motivate them, to show them the way, the path. Okay? And these people, these poor people have been exploited by the rich people of the society. They put a burden on these poor bangle makers, which cannot be put down by the poor people. And Mukesh is an exceptional one. Mukesh has a dream. He wants to fulfill his dream. He wants to achieve it. Okay, so this is the story. We'll get to know about it in this part. So let's get started. Let's start. First of all, have a look at the title. I want to drive a car. We have ended the first part where Sahib was no longer his own master. You remember? He has lost his freedom working at the tea stall. Sahib was no longer his own master and his freedom has been curtailed by the tea stall owner. Unlike Sahib, Mukesh did not want to work under anyone. He insists on being his own master. He wanted to be his own master. As Mukesh was determined and confident, and he could visualize his dream. What was his dream? He wanted to be a motor mechanic, and he also wanted to drive a car. Mukesh was determined and confident. He did not want to take the life as it is, which is given to him by his parents. He wanted to do something different, and that's why he was quite confident when he announced that he wanted to be a motor mechanic. Okay? And he would learn to drive a car. The author met the boy Mukesh and she asked him what was his dream. And what was his dream? He wanted to be a motor mechanic. Mukesh wanted to be a motor mechanic, and also he wanted to drive a car. Correct? That was the dream of Mukesh. The author asked him, "Do you know anything about cars? Yes, you want to be a motor mechanic. You want to drive a car. But do you know anything about cars? The author asked. What was his answer? I will learn to drive a car. He would learn to drive a car. That means he was determined and confident. He answers, looking straight into my eyes. That means the boy Mukesh is confident and looking straight into the eyes of the author. That means he wants to show that what he says, he means it. That means when we talk to someone else, and when we look straight into the eyes of that person whom we are talking, that means you are quite confident. You are confident what you mean. So the boy Mukesh was confident, he was determined, and that's why he was looking straight into the eyes of the author. But his dream looms like a mirage amidst the dust of streets that fill his town, Firozabad, famous for its bangles. So the boy Mukesh, he works in a bangle factory of Firozabad. He lives in Firozabad, and that place, Firozabad, is famous for its bangles. Okay. So his dreams, the author says that his dream looms like a mirage. That means the dream of Mukesh seems like mirage. Mirage means an illusion, especially the appearance of water in a desert or on a hot road. That means here mirage means an unrealistic hope that cannot be achieved. His dream of becoming a motor mechanic is like a mirage. That means that seems like an unrealistic hope that cannot be achieved by him. Mukesh family is among them. None of them know that it is illegal for children like him to work in the glass furnaces. So in this paragraph, we'll get to know about the condition of these bangle makers, how they work in the bangle factory, how these children work in the bangle factory. Okay, let's see. Mukesh is also a bangle maker. He works in the bangle factory, and the people living in that place, Firozabad, they do not know that child labor is illegal. These people do not know that child labor is illegal. They are unaware of the law that is made by our constitution. They were not aware of that fact. The child who is below 18 is not allowed to work. But these illiterate people have no idea about this law. And that's why the child like Mukesh, they are forced to work in the bangle factory. Okay, how they work? Let's see. They work in the glass furnaces with high temperatures. Okay, the children work in dingy cells. That means they work in dark rooms without air and light with high temperatures. The temperature is very high. Okay, with high temperatures in dingy cells without air and light. See the condition, how they work. They work in high temperatures in dingy cells. Dingy means dark and dirty. They work in dark room without air. No air can pass, and light without light. That the law, if enforced, could get him and all those 20,000 children out of the hot furnaces where they slog their daylight hours. So we'll get to know 20,000 children worked in that factory. Okay, 20,000 children worked in that factory where they slog means they work hard. They work hard in that factory, and if law is enforced, then these children can be released from that factory. Okay, along with Mukesh, and often losing the brightness of their eyes. These children have lost their eyesight because they work in dingy cells, because they work in dark room without air and lights with high temperatures. That's why these people have lost their eyesight. Half of the work is done in factories, and other half, which is the most important, is done in people's home. Okay, the combination of means how they work. The combination of chemicals, heat and glass used in the industry is a major health hazard for the workers. That means they work in very unhygienic condition, unhealthy condition. Okay. Mukesh eyes beam as they volunteers to take me home, which he proudly says is being rebuilt. The boy Mukesh was happy when he took the author to his home because his house was built again. Okay, he was happy when he took the author to his home because he proudly says that his house is being rebuilt. And now we'll get to know the condition where they live. Okay, see, we walked down the stinking lanes. That means they walked through the lanes which were stinking. Okay, that means dirty smells emerge from the lanes because of the garbage, choked with garbage. That means choked means blocked with garbage. Past homes that remain hovels means huts. Okay, that means that place was full of huts or hovels with crumbling walls. The walls were crumbling, that means can break down at any moment. Obbly doors, no windows. Obbly doors, that means not very strong. Okay, no windows, there were no windows. Crowded with families of humans and animals coexisting in a primeval state. Primeval means, that means primitive state. That means it takes the author to ancient time where the animals and humans coexisted or they used to live together. Okay, this is the condition. That means they live in unhygienic condition. He stops at the door of one such house, bangs a wobbly iron door with his foot and pushes it open. We enter a half-built shack. That means we know that his house was being rebuilt. So they entered the room and it was a half-built shack. It was a half-built hut, we can say. In one part of it, thatched with dead grass, is a fired stove over which sits a large vessel of sizzling spinach leaves. On the ground, in large aluminium platters, are more chopped vegetables. A frail young woman is cooking the evening meal for the whole family. And she is the wife of Mukesh, elder brother. That means who was making the meal? That means she is in charge of Mukesh house. And she is the wife of Mukesh, elder brother. Mukesh, sister-in-law, was in charge of his house. And here we'll get to know about his family members. There are 4 members in his family: Mukesh, his father, brother, and sister-in-law. And we got that Mukesh, sister-in-law, is in charge of his house. And she is a young lady who got married in an early age. Okay, and she is not happy. And she is living in a, we can say, she is living in a male-dominating society, and she follows each and every customs. And Mukesh's father is an impoverished bangle maker. That means he is very poor. Okay, and his father knows nothing except the art of making bangles. And he is engaged in making bangles since long time. But he is not able to fulfill 2 times meal. He is not able to send his 2 sons to school. Mukesh's father has failed to repair a house. That means he first he was a tailor. Then he became a bangle maker. But he has failed to repair a house. He has failed to renovate a house. After a lifetime of hard work, despite long years of hard labor, after a lifetime of hard work, their hands remain empty. All he has managed to do is to teach them what he knows, the art of making bangles. These people know only one thing, that is the art of making bangles. And he has failed to send his 2 sons to school. He has failed to renovate or to repair a house. But he knew one thing, that is the art of making bangles. And he taught his children that art of making bangles. Moving to the next paragraph. It is his Karam, his destiny, says Mukesh, grandmother. Here, the author is talking about the grandmother of Mukesh, and she believes in destiny. She believes in fate. Okay, she believes that it is their destiny to work in the bangle factory. You know, some illiterate people feel like they are born into a poor family and it is their destiny, and destiny cannot be changed. The grandmother believes that her husband's blindness, their misfortune, and impoverished condition are ordained by destiny. She believes that it is his Karam, his destiny, who has watched her own husband go blind with the dust from polishing the glass of bangles. That means she believes that it is his Karam, or the result of his karma in the previous birth, that they are born into the caste of bangle makers and they are destined to make bangles and cannot do anything else. Years of suffering, years of hard labor makes her accept everything in the name of fate. That's why she said, can a God-given lineage ever be broken? She implies. Okay? That means it is their fate to work in it is their destiny to work in the bangle factory, and destiny cannot be changed. Okay, now the author is talking about the colors of bangles which are available in that place, Firozabad. Spirals of bangles, sunny gold, these are the colors of bangles found in Firozabad. Sunny gold, paddy green, royal blue, pink, purple, every color born out of the 7 colors of the rainbow. So these are the colors of bangles found in Firozabad. These are important. Sunny gold, paddy green, royal blue, pink, purple, and each and every colors. Okay, various colors of bangles are found in Firozabad. Okay, and in dark hutments next to lines of flames of flickering oil lamps sit boys and girls with their fathers and mothers welding pieces of colored glass into circles of bangles. Their eyes are more adjusted to the dark than to the light outside, and that's why they often end up losing their eyesight before they become adults. That means the boys and girls, they assist their parents. They assist their fathers and mothers in making bangles in the dark hutments. Okay, they do it under the flames of flickering oil lamps. That means no proper brightness, no light was there, which is not good for eyes. Flickering oil lamps, that means fluctuating light which goes on and off, because of which they have lost their eyesight before becoming adults. As they walk in the dark hutments, as they walk in dingy cells, they have to lose their eyesight before they become adults. Moving to the next paragraph. Here in this paragraph, the writer talks about another family. Okay, the name of the girl is Savita, who is making bangles, who is helping an elderly woman in making bangles. Okay, Savita, she was a very young girl, and she was wearing a pink dress. She sits alongside an elderly woman soldering pieces of glass. Okay, soldering, that means that is a process in which 2 or more items are joined by melting. Okay, she is helping the elderly woman in making bangles, and she is too young. Okay, she is a very young girl, and she is soldering piece of bangles, piece of glass. As her hands move mechanically like the tongs of a machine, I wonder if she knows the sanctity of the bangles she helps make. Sanctity, that means sacredness or holiness. Okay, her hands move mechanically like the tongs of a machine. That means she is so much skilled. She is so skilled in that work.
in making bangles. It is shown her ability. Okay, now you will get to know the importance of bangles in Indian society. The author is talking about the importance of bangles in Indian society. What is the importance of bangles for an Indian woman? It symbolizes an Indian woman's suhag. Okay, this is very important. Auspiciousness in marriage. Auspiciousness, that means positivity or well-being. When a woman wears bangles, that means her husband is alive. When a married woman wears a bangles, that means her husband is alive. It shows the well-being of her husband. It symbolizes the Indian woman's suhag. Okay, and this girl, she is too young to know the importance of bangles in Indian society, because she is too young, and she will come to know about this when she will become a bride. Okay, and that lady who was making bangles, she says in a voice drained of joy, "एक वक्त शेर वर खाना भी नहीं खाया." That means that lady complained. She complained that she did not get a full meal in her whole life. Her husband, an old man with a flowing beard, says, "I know nothing except bangles. All I have done is make a house for the family to live in." Hearing him, one wonders if he has achieved what many have failed in their lifetime. He has a roof over his head. Okay, the old man he was happy. He was happy that he had been able to make a house for the family to live in. But his wife complained that she did not get a full meal in her whole life. In spite of their hard work, in spite of their hard labor, they have never got full-time meal. That was the complaint made by that lady. And her husband, who was an old man, he was happy that yes, he had been able to make a house for the family, because these people are lack of basic amenities. They do not have the ability to build a house. Okay, that's why that person, the old man, was happy. The cry of not having money to do anything except carry on the business of making bangles, not even enough to eat, rings in every home. The young men echo the lament of their elders. Little has moved with time, it seems, in Firozabad. Okay, that means these people do not have enough money to do anything extra. Okay, to do something extra. They know only one thing, that is the art of making bangles. They do not have enough money to eat even. Okay, and the young men echo the lament of their elders. That means these people live in very miserable condition, who have to struggle to fulfill their basic needs. Okay, little has moved with time, it seems, in Firozabad. Years of mind-numbing toil have killed all initiative and the ability to dream. Little has moved with time, that means nothing has changed. Nothing has changed in Firozabad. Talking about the progress, development, nothing has changed with time, with the passage of time. All of them are still engaged. All the people living in Firozabad are still engaged in making bangles. The children are still illegally being employed in the factories, in the hot furnaces. The people still live in unhygienic condition, unhealthy condition. Their lives are full of miseries. The young man was as helpless as the elder one, because they have no leaders among them. Moving to the next paragraph. Why not organize yourselves into a cooperative? I ask a group of young men who have fallen into the vicious circle of middlemen, who trapped their fathers and forefathers. The author once asked a group of men why these people are not organizing themselves into a cooperative. The author wants them to think or do differently. but there is no leader among them to motivate, to inspire, to guide them. Okay, there is no one who could help them see things differently. Okay, the bangle makers, here the bangle makers told about their helplessness. Whenever they attempted, the helplessness caused whenever they attempted to unite and form a cooperative. Okay, these people told about their helplessness caused whenever they attempted to unite and form a cooperative. They were victimized and tortured by the police. Their lives are condemned to poverty and injustice. See this line, I ask a group of young men who have fallen into the vicious circle. That means this is a group of the rich people, who exploit these poor bangle makers. Okay, and when the author asked them why they are not organizing themselves into cooperative, then what was the reply given by them? Even if we get organized, we are the ones who will be hauled up by the police, beaten and dragged to jail for doing something illegal. If they want to organize themselves, that means if they want to come out of that factory, they will be beaten up by the police. They will be hauled up by the police. They will be beaten up by the police and they will be sent to jail for doing something illegal. That means they have to be the victim of this vicious circle. Okay, there is no leader among them, no one who could help them see things differently. Already I told you that there is no leader among them who could guide them. Okay, there was no leader among them who could guide them, who could motivate them, or who could inspire them to see the things differently. The children also accept it as naturally as their father, because they are so poor to start their own business. They do not have enough money to start their own business. If someone dares to do, he will be beaten up by the police and sent to jail for doing something illegal. Moving to the next paragraph, here the author is talking about two distinct worlds. That means listening to these people, the author observes two different worlds. What are they? Let's see. One belongs to the family caught in a web of poverty, burdened by the stigma of caste in which they are born. That means one society belongs to the poor bangle makers. Okay, the author observes two different worlds, and one world is of the poor bangle makers, and another one a vicious circle. Vicious means cruel, violent. Okay, who formed this vicious circle? We'll get to know about it. A vicious circle. Who formed this circle? Who formed this group? Saukars, that means money lenders. Saukars means money lenders. The middleman, the policeman, keepers of law, the bureaucrats, and the politicians. That means the powerful people of the society have formed this vicious circle. The politicians, policemen, bureaucrats, moneylenders, that means saukars, these people have created the vicious circle who exploit these poor bangle makers. So the author observes two different worlds. One belongs to the poor family, that means poor bangle makers, and another one belongs to these rich people of the society, that means politicians, policemen, bureaucrats, and saukars, etc. Together, these people have imposed a baggage on the child that he cannot put down, and before he is aware, he accepts it as naturally as his father. That means these people, the rich people of the society, they exploit the poor bangle makers, and these bangle makers are under the control of the vicious circles, under the control of the policemen, officials, middlemen, saukars, politicians, etc. These people do not allow the poor bangle makers to come out of the poverty. Okay, to do anything else, would mean to dare, and daring is not part of his growing up. That means it is impossible for a child to come out of it, as they do not have courage to go against the so-called God-given lineage. Okay, they are never taught what is there. They are never even taught what is there, and that's why these people do not have courage to go against this tradition. Okay, they cannot come out of this poverty, they cannot come out of the factory, because they do not have courage to go against it. Okay, Mukesh wants to do something different, and that's why the author says, when I sense a flash of it in Mukesh, I am cheered. I want to be a motor mechanic, he repeats. He will go to a garage and learn, but the garage is a long way from his home. I will walk, he insists. Okay, that means Mukesh wants to do something different. He is an exceptional one. He dares to dream something different from his family members. And the author was happy when she came to know that Mukesh wanted to be a motor mechanic. As she saw the family background of Mukesh, that's why she felt like Mukesh would not be able to fulfill his dream. The writer just wanted to make it sure how much confident Mukesh was. And that's why she again asked him, do you also dream of flying a plane? He suddenly said silent. No, he says, staring at the ground. In a small murmur, there is an embarrassment that has not yet turned into regret. He is content to dream of cars that he sees hurtling down, that means moving very fast, moving down the streets of his towns. Few airplanes fly over Firozabad. That means what? The author again asked him, how will you learn to drive car? How will you learn to learn driving? As the garage is far away from his place. And the boy Mukesh was determined, he was confident, and he was ready to go to garage by walking even. Doesn't matter how long it is. The author again asked him whether he wanted to fly a plane. Okay, Mukesh was embarrassed because he knew his limits. He was content, he was happy with his dream of becoming a motor mechanic. He only wanted to drive a car. He only wanted to be a motor mechanic. Here aeroplanes symbolize something distant, just like a far-fetched dream. Okay, people of Firozabad were not exposed to big dream like that. The boy Mukesh, he knew his limits, and that's why he was content, or he was happy with his dream of becoming a motor mechanic.
So dear students, we have completed this chapter. Hope you have understood the story. So here the author describes the pitiable condition of the children, poor children, who have been forced to miss the joy of childhood. They have lost their childhood due to socio-economic condition of the society. Instead of spending their days in schools, playgrounds, these children, these poor children, waste their spring, that is childhood. They spend their childhood amidst the garbage dump or working in the factory. Their best part of life, the golden phase of life, is lost to the demands of survival. Though these people have desires, they have dreams, but they do not know the way to achieve it. This is the harsh reality of life. That's all. Hope you have understood the story. See you in the next class.